So many businesses could be in a far better place in such a quicker time, such an easier time, if they were open to receiving some assistance and just reaching out to find out if there is actually help there to change their business and their lives faster and easier. Over the last 18 years, we've had the privilege of working alongside hundreds of directors and teams, and the rate of growth is huge. I mean, if you could get your business to where you wanted it and to get it to do what you would like it to do for you much faster and easier, would that be a good investment? Of course it would be. And is it real? Yes, it is real. One of the most common feedbacks that we hear from clients is, this has been the best thing that we've ever done. We never knew about this. That's it. The other statement is that we didn't know how good this would be. We were just thinking that it was a cost. So it's a barrier. The cost in the mind is a barrier. If we turn that around and think this is a potential great investment, to have people or resources that know what they're doing to come alongside you and help you get there faster and quicker, is a good investment. True, like if your rate of return from doing what you're doing is 10, and then your rate of return is 2, it's a lot better. Imagine having a $10 million increase over the next 10 years and it came to you within 2 or 3 years. Would that be a good investment? Of course. The profit margins on that are what we look at, not just the $10 million turnover. So if we change that barrier 1 into an investment and we step out to find out what it's actually like, then more than likely what we've seen is that you'll step in and give this a go. Now, if you find someone that's seasoned, that knows what they're doing and has their heart in it, not just looking at the money, and they become part of your business to get you to where you want to go a lot quicker, then it's a good thing. It's one of the best investments that you could ever make. How many business owners and directors have formal qualifications on how to develop a business? In my minimal research over the last 20 years, I've found very few that have any qualifications. Some do, and some have done really well, but what they've also done is surround themselves with people that know more than what they do in certain areas. So we've got a lot of areas in our businesses, haven't we? We've got the admin, the operations, the financial setup, we've got the sales, the marketing, the team, the HR, WHS, we've got all these sorts of things. In our business, we knew how important the numbers were, so we have an accounting arm. We really need to make sure of decisions. What starts a business? A decision. Then it's actuated and stepped into, and most have done this as they've learned. Sometimes, as one of the best chess players in the world says, it's not all about making the right moves all the time, it's making the least amount of wrong moves. True? So if we were to make a wrong move, put a wrong system in, cost us $5,000, $10,000, and we put all our data in there, and then we found out it doesn't bolt onto what we really need, we better redo the whole thing. And by the way, this has happened and that's happened. Yeah, how much can that cost? Now there's numerous areas like that we try to avoid. And after dealing with hundreds of different companies and building those with the directors and the teams, you start to find out a little bit about what works and what doesn't work, and looking into the future and stepping back from the future. So when we're looking at a business, we need to see the end game from the beginning. We focus on what we need to do. We know the outcomes. It's like a windmill. The blades are turning. We don't know where it's coming from, really. I mean, the windmill can turn, and it's from a piece of air, wind. Where does it come from? Where does it go? We can't see it, but we know it's turning. And sometimes that's like our businesses, just going around and around. Albert Einstein said, if we're expecting change and we don't do something different, it's just sheer madness. So the wheels are turning, and out the bottom of the pipe there's either a drizzly, browny looking water coming out, or it's a flood. It's like a fire hydrant being turned on, and a lot of people are in the fire hydrant at the moment as well. So they're trying to stay afloat, swimming and reacting. And when is the best time to enter into something like this with a resource that can help your business grow? Well, it's when the cash is flowing. That's a better time. Otherwise, it turns around when it's a drizzle, and there's another barrier that comes up, and that's fear. Okay, so fear is not a good barrier. Either way, there's stress, and there has impacts on people in your family, people in your business. Now, how important are people? It's part of the reason why we're called team culture. In all the businesses that we see, how can you get your business free, or how can you get freedom from your business and choose where you spend your time if you're the one in the business all the time? You can't. It just drives you. It's actually a job. The only real way is by implementing strategies and processes, systems, and people that are on fire, people that want to do what they're doing, because at the end of the day, like in the global financial crash, Steve Jobs did not remove his people. Why? Well, he loves them. He thinks they're fantastic. Who do you think creates within Apple? It's the people. People are hugely important, and once we recognise them and they know that their importance is our business lifeline, and we help them to get what they want in their life through getting what we achieve together as a business, then the whole boat starts rowing together, and it rows in the same direction with our vision being known, and our log lines being known, all sorts of things we bring into the mix, so everyone starts wanting to row in the same manner. Some are rowing a little bit faster, and the guy next door will say, hey, I'm trying to catch up, what do I need to do? That type of thing starts to occur in the business, and they taking on their own responsibility for getting the job done, because it's what they want. So people are hugely important, and as the leaders, as the directors, where does the business get its atmosphere? Where does it get its encouragement? Where does it get its motivation? Who really looks after the people? It's the leaders. It's the director first and foremost. And if you're the director of a business right now, the business is a reflection of you, and how you think, how you behave, the actions you take, the decisions you make. So if we're making better decisions with a lot more experience and knowledge, what happens is the competence comes up in areas that might be holding you back a little bit, or holding the team back a little bit. And when those barriers come down, the competence increases. And what does that do for confidence? Well, it comes right up. Is that making a happier business or a sadder business? Is absolutely more on fire, more enjoyable. People are waking up because when they came home last night, they're thinking, oh, what else could I do? Believe it or not, it's actually true. They come home and they're valued. I mean, in Australia at the moment, the devastation of disengaged workers is heightened. It's up to, I think, about 50, 80, a ridiculous $1 billion number through disengagement, which means that the worker is seen as a worker, not as a team member. They're not paid to think. They come home, they're not feeling valued. And what happens when they get home? They'll pick up 10 beers, they won't talk to their wife, they won't engage. You know, there's all sorts of things going on in our society at the moment, which I don't want to get into too far, but if you look up the statistics, it might surprise you. It's something that we can do about it. And it may be only 10 people, but that's 10 family lives. And that's a lot of people. There could be 100 people there. And it comes back to us as leaders, directors. You know, are we going to look at the flow of the pipe? Sure, we need to know the outcomes, and we want the outcomes to be faster, and we want them to be easier, so that everyone can get what they truly want from that business. Let's look at what we can do. Let's get better at what we can do, make better decisions, implement them faster, and we'll see the planning that we do actually works because we get it done. I hope that helps.